So Anaksha 3. So video cassette recorder, video cassette player, or video television receiver, or video cassette player disc player. So digital video disc player, music systems, word processing machine, fax machine, portable photocopying machine, washing machine, electronic, liquefied petroleum gas cooking range, personal computers, laptop computers, notebook computers, and domestic refrigerator capacity up to 300 liters in increments. So this annexion 3 values are up to that 5 lakhs you can bring. And Mr. Sanjay, an Indian entrepreneur, went to London to explore a new business opportunity. And first, April 2023, his wife has joined him in London. After 3 months, the following details submitted by him, the custody officer as theatre in India. 23. User personal effort 80,000. To music play system 50,000. Or jewelry by Mrs. Swanji 48 grams, 2020 grams, and jewelry by what? By 40 grams. Reference to the baggage rules determined Mrs. Sanjay and required doing customs. So, first day. As per the rule 3, baggage for the Indian resident living in any country other than Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar shall be allowed to clear its fees for any articles bona fide about the personal effects and travel are conservatives and articles up to the value of 50,000 carried on the person on the comment with the package. Therefore, no customs duty on the user personal effects and travel souvenirs and gentle duty free package allowance 40,000 per person. This duty of liability at Mr. Chanchi and his wife is nil, and for the used personal effects worth 80,000 and 22 music systems worth 50,000. As per the rule 5 baggage rules, jewelry is allowed under rental man passengers up to 20 grams and lady passengers 40 grams. Our jewelry allowance is applicable only to passenger residing abroad for more than 1 year. Consequently, no duty is liable on jewelry bought by Mr. Chanchi as he stored abroad period exceeding 1 year. Weight of the jewelry is bought by him is 20 grams, value is less than 50,000. Her wife is not eligible for additional jewelry allowance as she has stayed beyond a period less than a year. As she has to pay customs duty of the entire amount of jewelry bought by her, and she is already exhausted by a gentle 50,000 around 3. Illustration 5. After visiting USA for a month, Mrs. Indra residence age 40 and 45. Got to India. India laptop 40,000 and the person belonging to 20,000 person laptop 50,000. Laptop computer and the customs duty payable on the import agriculture infrastructure developments. As per the baggage process, Indian resident arriving from any country other than Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar are allowed for duty free limits. Used personal effects and travel souvenirs without any value limit. So use the personal effects and travel souvenirs not the normally. The articles other than certain specific articles up to 50,000 carried accommodate package central duty free package. For which central duty free baggage allowance of a passenger cannot be pooled with general duty free baggage allowance of any other passengers. One laptop computer when imported into India by passenger of the age of 18 or above, other than the member of crew as a other than the member of crew as a baggage is exempt from the whole of the current customs. So 11 2004 exempt according to other than no customs duties by use of personal effects worth 90,000 as laptop bought by him within the exemption duty. Duty payable on personal computers is exhaust of free baggage limit. So allowance 52,000 minus 50,000 2,000. Affected rate of baggage 38 percentage including so that was 730 rupees. ஸோ இதில் வந்து 50,000 பர்சன்ட் கம்ப்யூட்டரில் மட்டும் எக்ஸம்ட் இன்னொன்று எக்ஸம்ட் Destination 6. What is the relevant date to determination rate of duty under the Customs Act 1962 in the case of clearance of baggage? As per Section 70 of Customs Act 1962, the relevant date of determination rate of duty as per the clearance of baggage and the date in which clearance is made respect of its baggage in Section 77. So, in this scheme happens, passengers brought with him articles which is prohibited. which is prohibited. The passenger may not be insist on taking into Indian territory. On the contrary, he may opt for re-export or take it with him when the leaves country. Similarly, passenger may not necessarily pay duty on the article, which can be conveniently avoid taking into the town if the duty is heavy. In such case, he may opt to take the article within him when he leaves the country. In both cases, he will have to deposit the article to the customs authority and take it back port of departure. But the package of passenger contains any article which is dutiable or import of him is prohibited in respect of which a true declaration has been made in the second sentence. The proper officer may, at the request of the passenger, retain such articles for the purpose of being returned to him on the leaving India. And if for any reason the passenger is not able to collect the article at the time of leaving India, the article may be returned to him through any other passenger authorized by him leaving India on the cargo consigned in his name. Declaration of essential. Declaration of the goods bought in and out is necessary. If the goods are not declared under section artisan, passengers cannot subsequently claim the benefit of the VAT and the goods are liable for confiscation. Regulation respect of baggage section 81. Since the provision in respect of baggage are completely coded by himself in the desire of supplementary detained procedure where the necessary rule making power. Section 81 therefore provides that the board may take regulation in the following manner. Provide the manner of declaration of custom contents of any baggage. Provide the manner of declaration of content of the baggage. Providing the custom for the custody, examination, assessment of duty and clearance of baggage. Providing for transshipment of baggage from one custom station to another or to a place outside India. Baggage declaration form. In exchange of this power, the form of baggage declaration has been prescribed and standardized. Transit and transshipment of baggage from one custom station to another became necessary for convenient clearance of unaccumulated baggage. In custom baggage declaration regulation 2013, the baggage declaration have been filled only by those passengers who come to India and carry dutiable and prohibited goods or have anything to declare. When they come to India and carry dutiable goods or have anything. CBIC Circular 08/16 class dated 08/3/16 and classified that domestic passengers who board international flight in the domestic flight are not required to file the customs baggage declaration form. Okay. Transit and transshipment. Transit and transshipment of the import cargo and any transaction. The conveyance may not carry goods intended for the particular customs station only. It may carry goods intended for another Indian port and other foreign ports. There are two distinct possibilities. Convenience may not call at all other Indian ports and customs station and foreign ports for which carries goods. The conveyance may call at other Indian ports, customs station and foreign ports for which it carries goods. The conveyance may not call at all other Indian ports, customs station and foreign ports for which it carries goods. Conveyance may call at all other ports of Indian ports, customs stations and foreign ports of which carries goods. Transit transmit of import cargo and transaction. Conveyance may not carry goods intended for particular customs station only. It may carry goods intended for other Indian ports and other foreign ports. That is a possibility. In the case where the former the goods will have to be transited with any other conveyance outwards carriage to the destination. This is called transshipment. Will cover both the goods intended for Indian ports and foreign ports. In the later situation, the goods will continue to be carried by the same conveyance. It is called the transit shipment. The both situation, import goods is not collected. Import duty is not collected on the goods, even though the liability is already accrued and by the fact of import into India, which includes territorial water of India, which need necessary to ensure that Now, in the case of goods intent for Indian ports, the goods has actually been conveyed to Indian port of destination. Upload duty of customs is collected thereupon. In the case of the goods intended for foreign ports, goods are actually conveyed out of Indian and not landed in any Indian customs station. Difference between transit and transshipment. The essential difference between transit and transshipment lies on the continuity of the records and documents. In the case of transit of goods or by any of the same conveyance, and the record altered made the ship aircraft manifest will continue. Goods should have been shown in the manifest as the same bottom cargo. The designation of cargo consignment wise has been shown in the same bottom cargo manifest. These entries are necessary to figure out the departure manifest and the export manifest of the conveyance. Therefore, when the conveyance calls at the next Indian customs port, at the airport, the goods have figured the import customs enter manifest while there is a landing cargo, same bottom cargo, the case may be. There is a continuity of the records and there is no chance of control over the transit cargo which being lost. The position of transshipment is entirely different. It is the first instance such the transshipment goods are landed in a particular Indian customs station. Therefore, they have to ship by the conveyance to the destination of the transshipment. There are following stages where the care and caution have been exercised to ensure that the goods are not illicitly landed and smuggled into India. During this period, when the transshipment period goods lies in the Indian customs station, when the goods are transshipped by another conveyance in the final destination. When the transshipment goods are designated to another Indian customs station, care to be taken at the station for actual landing and proper clearance. Statutory provision. The statutory provision relating to transit and transshipment of goods are covered in section 52-56 of Customs Act. Exemption to the chapter. The provision this section 52. The provision chapter shall not apply to baggage goods imported by post and stores. Baggage goods imported by post and stores. Transit of goods in the same vessel or year. Subject to the provision of section 11, the power to prohibit the import and export of goods, where goods imported in the conveyance and mentioned in the arrival manifest or import manifest or the import report, as the case may be, they transit to the same conveyance to any place outside India or to any custom station. Proper officer may allow the goods and the conveyance to transit without payment of duty, subject to such condition as may be prescribed. The transshipment of goods without payment of duty, section 54. Whether goods imported into customs stations or intended for the transshipment, the bill of transshipment shall be presented to the proper officer in the prescribed form. Where the goods are being transferred under the international treaty and bilateral agreement between the government of India and government of foreign country, declaration of transshipment instead of the bill of transshipment shall be presented to the proper officer in the prescribed forms. Subject to the provision of section 11, power to prohibit imports and export of goods, where any goods imported into customs station or mentioned in the arrival manifest or a import manifest or a import report, as the case may be, as a transshipment to any place outside India. Such a place may be allowed to be so transshipped without the payment of duty. Where goods imported into customs station and mentioned in the arrival manifest or import manifest or the import report, as the case may be, transshipment to any major port defined as section ports, Indian Ports Act 1908, 1908, at the customs port of Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, and Chennai, as any other customs port in the customs airport, which is with the board may be notified by the official guarantee specified on the behalf. Any other customs station, the proper officer satisfy the goods are bona fide intended for transshipment of such customs station. The proper officer may allow the goods to be transshipped without payment of duty, subject to such condition as that may be prescribed due for the due arrival of the goods at the customs station to which transshipment is allowed. State a difference between transit and transshipment of goods under the provision of the Customs Act. Transit. Section 53 of the Customs Act is about transit. Section 54 of the Customs Act is about transshipment. In the case of transit of goods, goods are allowed to remain on the same conveyance. Transshipment. In the case of transshipment of goods, the conveyance changes. Thus, goods are unloaded for one conveyance and loaded to another conveyance. In the case of transit of goods, where the continuity of record, there is a continuity of record. The transshipment of a continuity of record is not maintained as the goods are transferred to another conveyance. Liability of duty or liability of duty on the goods transisted under the section 53 or transshipment section 54 55, and the goods are allowed to be transisted under section 53 and transshipped under section 53 transshipment within India in any custom station. They shall on the arrive at such station and be liable to duty and shall be entered in like the manner as the goods are entered on the first importation thereof, and the provision of this act and any rules and regulations shall, so far as may be applied in certain international goods, transport certainty class of goods subject to the prescribed conditions. The provision of section 53 54 applies only in the goods imported in the Indian customs port and airport and transshipment or transshipped in another customs port airport. They do not cover transport by land from one Indian land customs station to another Indian land customs station. In the case of goods are designated to foreign port or airport or customs station, the problem has been specifically faced in the case where imported goods meant for import landed at an Indian customs port or an Indian land customs station. Such goods had to be transported by road or rail to Indian land customs station along the Indian Nepal border and thereafter crossed over the corresponding Nepalese customs station. Similarly, there are rail traffic between West and East Pakistan before were later and liberal and named Bangladesh. This movement across the Indian territory was found to be faster and cheaper compared to the movement by sea along with the Indian continent. Such situations dealt with Section 56 of Customs Act. Section 56 specifically provides imported goods may be transported without payment of duty from one land customs station to another, and any goods may be transported from one part of India to another part of any foreign trade, subject to such condition as may be prescribed for the dual arrival of goods at the place of destination. In the first part, the movement within the Indian territory is allowed without payment of customs duty for the goods imported from outside India for ultimate destination outside India. In the second part, the movement through foreign territory is allowed within the payment of customs duty for the goods starting from one part of India to another part of India. Import and export procedures. A brief description of import and export procedures are given under import procedure. The procedure of importation of goods by air, by sea, by land has been outlined below. Landing, calling of aircraft vessel. In the case goods are imported by sea, air, goods shall be loaded into the vessel aircraft to be exported or exporting country and sent to India. In the case of imported by land, the goods shall be sent in vehicles or rail or road vehicles. Then the vehicles, aircraft carrying imported goods arrive in India. The person in charge of such vessel, aircraft, a master, pilot, and the vessel's aircraft respectively enter into India from outside India shall allow calling, landing on shall now call calling, allow landing of vessel, allow the aircraft only at the customs port, and allow the customs port unless otherwise permitted by CBIC. Delivery of import manifest report. The person in charge of the vessel's aircraft shall deliver to the proper officer an import manifest. Detail the information about the goods in the SR aircraft. By presenting the same electronic before the arrival of the vessel and aircraft at the station port, customs port. In the case of import by land, the person in charge of the vehicle shall deliver to the proper officer import report detailed information about the goods in vehicle within 12 hours on the arrival of vehicles at the customs station. Grant of entry towards a master vehicles and permission of unloading goods. On arriving import manifest from the master of vehicle, the proper officer shall grant entry to its own master. The master of the vehicle shall not permit the goods to be unloaded until the order of entry inward has been granted by the proper officer. Date of entry inward, the date of which customs departments are ready to supervise and unloading cargo. Muruga Narayana Mary. Unloading of goods. Imported goods shall be unloaded only if mentioned in the import manifest and import report can be unloaded. Only if approved places at the any customs port and customs airport can be unloading of goods. Only under supervision of the proper officer, unloading of goods can happen. Now only during the working hours shall not be unloaded Sunday or any other holiday. And not can be not be unloaded on Sunday or any holidays. unloading goods to be the custody of custodian until the clearance. Once imported goods have been entered into the customs area, they remains in the custody of custodian. Any provision approved by the Commissioner of Customs for the purpose. The imported goods are freighted after the unloading in the customs area while in the customs of the custodian, and the custodian shall be liable to pay the duty on such goods. Filing of entry of import, that is bill of entry. The importer of any goods other than goods intended for transit or transshipment. Provision of the goods in the transit transshipments are discussed in the point shall be filed a bill of entry electronically for clearance of goods for the custom station, port and airport. In the case of goods are to be cleared from home consumption, the importer would file a bill of entry for home consumption. However, if the importer does not need the goods immediately, he may request the goods to be warehoused. In the case into bond bill of entry shall be filed, and subsequently goods are to be cleared from the warehouse for the goods consumption. Next bond bill of the entry is required to be filed. Timing of the filing of bill of entry. The bill of entry may be presented before the end of the day, including only proceeding the day on which aircraft, vessels carrying the goods arrive at the customs station. Advisory goods are to be cleared for the home consumption for warehousing. However, the board may, in that case, may deem fit prescribe different time limit for presentation of the bill of entry, which shall not be later than the end of the day of the child. Further, the bill of entry may be presented at any time not exceeding 30 days prior to the expected arrival of the aircraft, vessels, or vehicles by which goods has been shipped for the importation into the India. Assessment of duty of the imported goods. The assessment of the procedure of quantifying the amount of liability. Importer shall self-assess the duty considering the applicable exchange rate and rate of import duty. The self-assessment is subject to verification of proper officer of the customs and may later reassessment by the officer. If the assessment made by the importer is found to be incorrect, the proper officer shall return the bill of entry to the importer and determine the duty amount. Payment of duty. If the goods are cleared to be stored in the warehouse, payment of duty is deferred till the time of clearance for such warehouse. However, in the case of goods are cleared for home consumption, customs duty has to be paid. The benefit of deferred payment of duty has also been permitted respect to certain class of importers. Discussed in the preceding chapter. The importer had to pay the duty within the prescribed time limit and discussed in Section 47. In the case he fails to do so, he is required to pay the interest on the duty till the time has been actually paid the duty and clear the goods. Maximum time for clearing of imported goods for the customs division. The goods lying under the custody of the custodian had to be cleared either for consumption or for warehousing for transshipment within 30 days, or such extending time as by the proper officer may allow. For the date of unloading of goods at the customs station, otherwise the goods would be subject to auction by the person having custody thereon per Section 42 Customs 1962. Mandatory document of imports. Following documents are mandatory: bill of lading, bill of airway bills, lorry receipt, railway receipt, postal receipt, commercial invoice, packing list, separate income, and bill of entry. For the import of specific goods in specific cases, import additional duty has been notified. There are separate import procedures for import of baggage and import of cost. Export procedure. Procedure of exportation of goods by air, exportation by sea, and export by land has been outlined below. Filing of shipping bill of export. The exportation is required to be presented electronically to proper officer of custody, customs, and bill. Shipping bill in case of export of vehicle sent by air, and bill of export in the case of export by vehicle. An exporter enter any export goods and self-assessing and pay the duty if any deviation are leviable on such goods subject to the verification by the proper officer. Order permitting clearance and loading of goods by exportation by the proper officer sanctioned that the goods entered for export is not prohibited goods and exporter has paid duty if any on them. Now he passed an order permitting clearance and loading the goods for the exportation called next export order. Grant of export outlines. The vessel intending to start loading of export goods must be first granted for export entry outward by the proper officer. The master of the vessel shall not permit the loading of any export goods until the proper officer grants the entry outward which requires good. The entry outward is a permission granted by the customs authorities to vessels so as a foreign voyage of the past of international. Landing of goods on conveyance for exportation. The export goods shall be landed on a conveyance of exportation with the permission of the person in charge. He shall not permit the loading of custodian station unless shipping bills or bill of export with transfer as case may be duly passed by the proper officer. He may handed over to him by the exporter. And note that the goods exported on the vessels granted entry on board is also mandated required before loading of goods. Delivery of export manifest report. The person in charge of conveyance carrying an export good shall therefore before departure of conveyance from the customs station deliver to the proper officer. In the case of vessel or aircraft, an export manifest electronically. In the case of vehicles or export report. No conveyance to leave without written order, and the person in charge of the conveyance in the loader and any export goods at the customs station shall now cause a permit to the conveyance to depart from the customs station until the written order to that effect he has been given by the proper officer. Mandatory documents for export. Following the documents: bill of lading, airway bill, lorry receipts, and railway receipts and postal receipt. Commercial invoice, compacting list, separate invoice, and shipping bills, bill of export, and postal bill of export. For export specific goods in specific cases of export, an additional duty document shall be notified short. These are separate export procedures are prescribed for export of baggage and export of fast. Recapitulation. Conveyance, import definition. Conveyance include vessels, aircraft, and vehicles. Section 299 export. Export section in relation to the goods at any time between the entry of export and the time when the export includes any owner, beneficial owner, any person holding itself out of the territory. Import section 226 in relation to any goods at any time between the importation and the time between they are cleared at home consumption include any owner, beneficial owner, any person holding himself on the importation. Foreign going vessels aircraft. Foreign going aircraft or vessel section 221 means any vessels aircraft or time being engaged in the carrying of goods, carrying of passengers between any port or airport in or outside India, irrespective of touching any intermediate port or intermediate airport in India. Includes any naval ship or foreign government taking part in naval exercise, any vessel engaged in fishing or any other operation outside the territory water of India, or and any other vessel aircraft proceeding to place outside India for any purpose whatsoever. Person in charge. Section 231 in relation to the person in charge, vessels, aircraft, railway, trains, and any other conveyance relating to person in charge means master of vehicle, aircraft, commander or pilot, charge of aircraft, railway train, conductor, guard, any other person having chief direction of train, any other person, driver, or any other person in charge of the conveyance. Entry section 216. It means good main means of entry made in bill of entry, shipping bill of export, and entry includes entry made under the regulation under section 54 with respect to post or courier. Arrival of vessel aircraft in section 29. In charge of personnel of aircraft enter India not to permit the vessel aircraft to call land or any place other than the customs airport for time first times after arriving in India or any time carrying passengers or carrying cargo unless permitted by the board. Allowed to call, allowed to land in any place and completed by the grounded by accident, stress of weather or unavoidable cause.